Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. It is a free call, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number, 888-825-5225. Stephen starts this hour in New York. Hi, Stephen. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
So pretty much I am coming into a large inheritance, and I want to know more sense of guidance and strategy on this particular subject because I want to maximize this amount of money. You know, I'm very familiar with the philosophy you guys have, and I agree with a lot of it. It just seems like I want to be able to turn this into generational wealth and sustainability for my family. So I was just trying to get your opinion on that.
Wow. How much are you getting as an inheritance?
It seems to be upward of $700,000, around there.
Wow. Who passed?
It's going to be my wife's grandfather.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. And so how old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 30?
32, yeah.
32. Okay.
What's your net worth?
Roughly, I would say around $300,000.
Okay. So safe to say you haven't managed a large sum of money in your lifetime.
No, nothing of this magnitude. I've, pretty much achieved everything on my own. Mm-hmm. But something like this, I want to be able to scale and, take my life to a different level, I suppose.
Yeah. Great question. And it's good that you're feeling the weight of the responsibility of this rather than, woohoo, I hit the lotto. Because right after people say stuff like that's when they do stupid butt stuff. And so, if you'll feel the weight of this, and here's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel the weight enough to manage it and be very careful with it, but I don't want you to feel the weight to feel the pressure to dive into something you know nothing about. That's the other thing.
I agree with that.
So if you feel like, I got to do something with this, I'm going to put it all in crypto, then we would call you stupid, and we'd look up stupid in the dictionary. There'd be your face, right? And so we don't want to do that, right? So that's not the point. So the idea being here that what wealthy people do is over time, they build relationships with people they can trust in different areas. I call them my board of directors, although they're not a board of directors, okay? So you want an independent insurance agent that has the heart. Okay. All of these need to have the heart of a teacher, okay?
Okay.
You need a tax accountant, maybe a tax attorney. You need a real estate agent.
Okay.
You need an investment broker. SmartVestor Pro would be a good one. Real estate agent, an ELP would be a good one. Okay?
Okay.
You don't need them because you're necessarily going to invest today, or you're going to buy real estate today, or you're going to go buy insurance today. You're putting people in your corner that have expertise in money areas that you don't have to advise you and teach you. So they're the guys you call. So like when I die, because it's predetermined that I'm going to die first, Sharon is going to call the broker that is our SmartVestor Pro. Okay? And we have we have a 20-year personal relationship with him and his wife. Sharon trusts him, and that's part of our board of directors. Okay? Jeff Zander at Zander Insurance handles all of my personal insurance and my business insurance. So any insurance questions, Sharon will be on the phone to Jeff. And I'm on the phone to him if I've got a question. You follow me? So we're put a board of directors in your corner. That's helpful, number one. Number two is don't invest in anything you can't tell me how it works, and don't invest in something because you're excited. If your pulse rate's up, you're getting conned.
It should be boring.
No, I'm trying to... I do invest in myself, nothing to this magnitude, and I'm trying to break into real estate investing and things like that. It's more a sense of I have a lot of options, and I'm trying to figure out which is the path that's going to be.
Yeah,
Obviously, you can't predict the future.
Is the path. Slow.
Well, you see, Dave, the inheritance is already in equities. Now, I could easily leave it there, put my feet up, and say, hey, that's it. I'm just going to let it grow.
I could roll it over to mutual funds and not think about it again, and you'd be just fine.
Exactly, but I want to be able to take this, like Dave, this is the difference. Like, if somebody gave you this money, you'd be able to flip that into, double it, triple it, because you're very well versed in how to manage money.
I would double it or triple it over 7 to 10 years. I wouldn't double or triple it over 20 minutes.
No, not 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes.
Not even 1 year.
Time.
Not even 1 year.
But 10 years time. Just something that's. No, it's not about being impatient. It's just about being optimal. I could easily leave it, but I would like to maybe use it for possibly real estate.
I think
I'd like to buy my own real estate first on my own.
Yeah. Do you have any debt?
I have my home and a few student loans.
What do you owe on your student loans?
$25,000.
What do you owe on your home?
I owe about $438, but it's worth about $700 now, so I got some equity in that. Phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah, that part where you said you do almost everything we teach is now kind of come out, because now I'm going to tell you to take your $700 and I'm going to pay off your house, and I'm going to pay off your student loans, and I'm going to put the rest of it into some mutual funds for a year, maybe 2. And then I'm going to think about real estate as that has grown, only then. But, Stephen, it's all over you. I can smell it. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're hell-bent on on turning this money into something and proving something. Please don't try to prove something with this money. Honor her grandfather's memory. He would not have done the things you're getting ready to do. Don't do them.
And Stephen, I don't know if you've talked to your wife about any of this. I'm worried that she's going, well, Stephen said he's got a plan. You need to be on the same page with what you're going to do and be in full alignment, and you both need to understand this. And you asked about generational wealth. The best way to create generational wealth is start with you, and you stop being broke, and you have no debt. Then we can start to build something for the future.
If you just put $1 million away at 30, 300 that you've got, 700 there, and you put it in mutual funds and in real estate, and it averages 10%. Every 7 years it will double. When you're 37, you'll have $2 million. When you're 44, you'll have $4 million. When you're 51, you'll have $8 million. When you're 59, calm down, you're going to have $16 million. Okay? If you don't screw this up and go follow some nothing down real estate bullcrap on TikTok. This is The Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Tax season, said nobody ever. Questions about taxes, though, they're coming in, and we'll help you with those. Here's a question from one of our listeners. Dave, we normally have someone do our taxes, but our accountant retired. I think we have a simple return. Should we try to file ourselves with Ramsey Smart Tax? Well, you can use the Ramsey Smart Tax software. It's very easy to use. The more complicated your return, the more likely you would want to use a professional. I personally use a professional, but mine's the size of a freaking phone book when I get it done. So, that's different, obviously. We recommend working with a tax pro if you've had a major life change, like you're retired, got an inheritance, adopted a child. If you own a business and file long form on that, probably a pro. You're not confident. You're confident, though, or you want to save time and stress. These are reasons that you'd want to do this. But if you get into it and it's just like, God, I hate this. Okay, there you go. That tells you right there, right? So I hate it anyway. I hate just signing the thing, much less preparing it. So that's the whole thing.
I see it like buying back your time and mental sanity when you work with a pro. Now, people have simple situations. They've got a W-2.
If you got a 1040 easy, do a Ramsey Smart Tax. You can do that as fast as you can do a 1040 easy. Don't pay somebody $300 to do that. I mean, it's just
when you can pay $20 on your own.
I haven't had one of those in my life, so I've always been self-employed.
Nothing about Dave's life is easy. I'll tell you that much.
I don't have an easy button anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, I've always been self-employed or had some kind of weird income or something going on where I didn't trust my own level of tax knowledge to do it. So either way, if you want a pro or you want to use the Ramsey Smart Tax software, just go to RamseySolutions.com/tax. Our question today comes from our brand new sponsor, Neighborly. We are so thrilled these guys are on board with us. It's brought to you by them. They're your hub for home services, stuff like Mr. Rooter, Mr. Electric. You'll see those at Neighborly. So if you need to make repairs or schedule routine maintenance or find local help for home improvement projects, Neighborly is your source for reliable home service providers in your area. Go to neighborly.com and start your search.
Today's question comes from Claudia in Mississippi. She's asking, under what scenario do you have to pay capital gains tax on real estate? Here's my situation. My grandfather quitclaim deeded his house to me. The house is completely paid off. He paid $24,000 for it in 2013, and it's now evaluated at $190,000. I'm wanting to sell in hopes to buy a new property. I've lived with him since 2020, and I took ownership in 2021. Under this scenario, would I be liable for capital gains?
No. Because it's been in your name for more than 2 years. It's been your personal residence for more than 2 years. A single person can make a profit of a capital gain of up to $250,000. So that'd be $274,000 in your case because his basis was $24,000. A profit of $250,000 with zero income tax on your personal residence. However, this was stupid. You almost stepped in it. You accidentally are okay, not because you had a plan.
If the numbers were different, the house value was much higher, this could have been a different scenario.
Yeah. So never deed property to someone prior to your death like Grandpa did. Here's why. Let's pretend that she didn't accidentally fall under this personal residence exemption for $250,000, which saved her bacon, okay? So let's say that she didn't live in the property. That would do away with the personal residence bit. Get it? Okay. So now it's Grandpa lives there, but Grandpa wants to make sure granddaughter gets it, and he doesn't want to deal with wills and stuff because he knows how those lawyers are, right? And so he, this is the kind of crap people do. Okay. So then he deeds the property to her with a quitclaim deed, which is usually a one-page thing and costs $6 to $10 to register at the courthouse. It's very easy to do this stupid move. Now, here's what happens. When you give someone property or a capital asset, stock, if I give George money, if I give him a share of Home Depot stock, if I give him a piece of real estate, his basis when he gets ready to resell it is based on what I paid for it. And so in this case, Grandpa paid $24,000 for it, so her basis is $24,000. If she had not lived in the house for 2 years, it would be called investment property. 100% of everything over $24,000 would be taxable. Major mistake. $150,000 worth of taxable income created here. Instead, Had he deeded it to her in his will, at his death, it went to her. You get what's called a stepped-up basis. Her basis becomes the value at the time of his death. Apparently, he's still alive. But at the time of his death, let's say he passed in this situation, her basis would not be $24,000, it'd be $190,000. She turns around and sells it for $190,000, zero capital gains. So the fact that Duber deeds this thing before his death, Grandpa, dadgummya, sweet but dumb, okay, could have cost her taxes on $150,000 or more here. It didn't, because she happened to live in the property for 2 years. But so don't give people stuff. Let them experience. Let market value at the time of their death be their new basis. It's a lot higher than what you paid for it, and control the ownership vehicle not by an early deed, but with either a trust or a will or both.
When does it make sense to use a quitclaim deed? What scenarios?
Divorces. Even then, though, you can get into trouble because most divorce attorneys make a huge legal error. Ooh, I'm calling you boys and girls out. Because here's the thing. Husband and wife get divorced. There's a $260,000 mortgage. Husband doesn't get to keep the house. Wife's going to get the house because the kids are living in the house. And divorce attorneys say, well, just part of the settlement is you're going to quit claim your half of ownership to her. And so he fills out a one-page quitclaim as part of the divorce decree. Boom. There we go. But guess what? Husband still has a $260,000 mortgage.
That's messy.
In his name.
On a house he's not a part of.
5 years later, he gets remarried and wants to have a life and buy a house. Can't do it. Still got a $260,000 mortgage in his ex-wife's name. Doesn't own the property, but still got the mortgage. Dumb. You're getting a divorce and doing a quitclaim deed, force a refinance or force the sale of the house. One of the two. Either the wife, the ex, soon-to-be ex, or whoever's going to get the house refinances and gets the other person's name off the mortgage, or we sell the house and get the name off the mortgage, because you're going to get stuck. And divorce attorneys do this all the time because it's easy. It's easy, but it's wrong. Okay, same thing here. This is for a different reason, though. This is when would you use a quitclaim deed? I just moved property from one LLC to another the other day. I used a quitclaim deed to do that.
To switch the ownership.
Yeah. It's just I already and I own both LLCs, so it's a non-issue, right? When else would you use a quitclaim deed? See, a quitclaim deed means here's real estate theory for you. You do not. A warranty deed is what usually transfers in most states a house, a piece of property, and that means if I'm transferring property to you, George, I am giving you a warranty on the title that I have the title. I am the owner of the title, and I am willing to warranty that and transfer that to you. Then if I didn't own the property and I did that, then you would have recourse back on me. Okay. But I could give you a quitclaim deed to someone else's property, because all it says is I quit claiming whatever ownership I have. And if I have no ownership, I quit claiming it.
Wow.
And I gave you nothing when I quit claiming it. So I could give you a quitclaim deed to James's house.
I'm in.
And it wouldn't do you any good.
James looks so scared in the
I'm going to
booth.
quit claiming all of my ownership, which is nothing.
Wow.
So if you don't have pure ownership and you quit claim deed something, it's of no value. And you can really get into all kinds of crap there. So sometimes you'll use it to do some title cleanup if there's something more nuanced than all of that. But
I've only ever heard it mostly in the context of divorces.
Divorce and estates. Grandpa doing a dumb thing like this, or estate planning attorneys doing a dumb thing without forcing a refinance. I mean, divorce attorneys not forcing a refinance, and then you get stung and you're stuck with a mortgage on a house you don't own anymore with a woman you aren't married to anymore. There's something about this sounds miserable to me. This is The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, which, by the way, if you're coming through Nashville, you ought to stop by. It's free cookies, free coffee, and lots of nice folk hanging around watching George and I do the show through the glass. It's kind of like watching ugly paint dry. But
I can't think about it too long. It's definitely weird, but we love it.
We're doing it every day anyway, so you ought to come by and see us. And it's also where we have the debt-free stage, which is where Jeff and Becky are standing. Hey, guys, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Great.
Welcome, welcome. Where do y'all live?
Parker, Colorado.
All right. Well, that's Denver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $162,000.
Yee! How long did this take?
About 33 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
The range of income was $135,000 to $175,000.
Cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm in software sales.
I'm a teacher's assistant in a special needs classroom.
Very good. Excellent, you guys. What kind of debt was your $162,000?
Well, you're looking at weird people, Dave. We paid off our house.
Yay! Officially weird. Love it. What's this house worth?
Just looked, and it's worth about $660,000.
Awesome.
And how much in your retirement accounts?
We are right around $750,000.
So we're looking at baby steps millionaires. Way to go, guys. Very proud of you. Paid off your house and hit baby step 7 and hit baby step millionaire status all in the fell swoop. So what started you? I mean, you come along, you're doing good. And 33 months ago, you go, we're going to do even better. We're going to pay off the house. Tell us the story. How'd you get started on this Ramsey stuff?
Well, it started a little bit further back than that. Maybe 5 years ago, I was talking with my brother. And our idea of what I needed to retire for hitting a number was vastly different than his. And he had about a goal of double of mine, so I started thinking about what we can do. And shortly after that, I got your book, Total Money Makeover, and read it and started to attempt to try and do a budget. And honestly, we kind of failed miserably for a little while. So I took it to Becky, and we kind of gave up for a while, but then we had our finally we had a moment where we were in kind of a deep financial trouble. We had taken out a HELOC to redo our kitchen, but then ended up not using it. But we're completely cashless. We had no money, and all 3 of our cars needed tires at the same time. So we needed to get out of our financial hole and had our never moment at that time.
Never again.
Yep.
So, Becky, he comes down and goes, we can't even get tires. And you said, what?
It was, we were tired of never having money. We were fighting about it all the time. And so it was just kind of time to do something else and change that. And I guess the rest, as they say, is history.
So you drug the Total Money Makeover book back off the shelf or what?
Yeah.
How did this work?
Yeah, we both read it again together and started working on it and did the budget again and started figuring things out together, and it was life-changing, marriage-changing. It was awesome.
Yeah. First 2 or 3 months are rocky, and then it
Yes.
starts smoothing out.
Yeah.
Smoothing out. By the time you get here, you go, why didn't we do this 20 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to give each other a little grace because it is challenging. And I found a lot of encouragement from listening to the podcast every day. So you guys gave us a lot of hope.
Wow.
Yep.
And this started as some brotherly competition. You went, oh, he's not going to beat me. I got to step it up.
Yeah, he put a vision out there that was very daunting but encouraging.
That's amazing. So paying off the house is it's controversial in today's world because people are going, why wouldn't you tap into the equity? And you guys, you did the HELOC, you didn't use it. But what would you say to those people who go, why are you paying off your house? That doesn't make any sense.
We just always wanted to be debt-free. My dad brought me up to not believe in much debt, but we'd had a mortgage for about 18 years and we'd made almost no progress on it. We'd moved twice. We'd sold our house for what we'd bought it for. And then we had another house that we'd been paying on for 8 years, and we really had not seen it go down very much. So we just attacked it and said, this is it. We're going to do it.
Yep.
Wow. Way to go, guys. So proud of you guys. Very, very cool. Excellent work. How's it feel to not have a payment in the world and be millionaires?
Amazing. It's just amazing. It's kind of hard to put it into words, I think.
Yeah. What do you tell people when they say, what's the key to getting your home paid off?
I would say there's two things. You have to do whatever it takes. So
What was the wildest thing you did under the whatever it takes heading?
I'm in software sales making a pretty good salary, and I drove Uber for a year. She went back into the workforce after not working for 15 years to 15 years to raise the kids. And we even had our oldest son get a job. So everybody was trying to do something to help
Everyone's
the
got
family.
skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
And then the other thing I was thinking about that we talked about too was the second part is you have to believe in yourself, but you have to partner with the Lord.
Yep.
And so believing in yourself gives you hope, but then praying and pondering with the Lord really brings his power into it. And
Yeah.
there was months that we should have never been able to make a payment that we were typically making, and something would happen, and then we would have the money, and it was just always there.
Yeah, you hit it hard. I mean, 33 months, 162,000. You were popping that thing.
Yeah,
You weren't
we were
playing.
very
You
intense.
guys weren't playing.
Yeah, there were some frustrating moments every time I wanted to do something on the house or in the yard or whatever. Jeff would say, not until the house is paid off. And I was like, okay, I know.
That is what we said.
Yeah.
That is
So
what
did
we
the
said.
kitchen
Yeah.
ever get remodeled? That's
It
the
did.
question.
Yeah.
And you just cash flowed that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way
So
to
what's the next big thing you do? We're paid off house millionaires. What do we do?
We're going to go to Belize
There you go.
in
There you
June,
go.
so-
Have you ever been before?
No.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
You'll
we're
love
looking forward to it.
You'll love it. I don't know how God made water that blue.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You're gonna love it. That's so cool. Do you dive? Are you divers?
No, snorkel, but
go get certified before you go.
we'd love to.
It's one of the best dive spots in the world. Way to go, you guys. Very cool. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Very fun, you guys. We're proud of y'all. Well done. Well done. You're why we do this. Very cool. We got the Live and Give bundle for you. It includes the Total Money Makeover book for you to give away and mess with somebody else's life like your brother did with yours. And the Baby Steps Millionaires book, which basically highlights what you've been doing. And you'll read through it and go, then you can give that away and encourage somebody. And Financial Peace University, a membership to that. Again, use it or give it away. It's all for you to enjoy. Thank you for making a trip to Nashville.
Yeah,
you.
thank you for
It's good to be
everything
here.
you all do to bring encouragement to people's lives. And we wanted to thank our kids for putting up with us for these last 3 years, for saying no to things, and for allowing us to get this done, and all of our friends and family and people at church that have encouraged us along the way.
Yeah, you've had some good cheerleaders. And you know what? The kids got a gift out of this because they got to see mom and dad learn something new,
Yeah.
change something late in the game, become new people, transformed, and then that gives them hope they can do whatever they want to do. You gave them a lot of power by them watching you. Well
Hope so.
done.
That's the
Very
goal.
well done. Love it. Jeff and Becky, Denver, Colorado, 162,000 paid off in 33 months, making 135 to 175. House and everything. Baby Steps Millionaires. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
More is caught than taught. I've always heard Rachel Cruz say that, and it is so true. Most people make bad decisions because they saw their parents make bad decisions. But this family right here, they're going to start doing things differently. Those kids saw their parents hustle and pay off debt.
For 3 years. I mean, mom went back to work. Dad's driving Uber. The old man, old lady did what it took. That's what the kids remember, right? They did what it took to win. I love it. They're not that old, but still. I mean,
They
you know,
got
that's
plenty of
the way
time.
the kids think about it, right?
Sure.
So,
But a lot of people do think, well, Dave, I should have done this in my 20s. It's too late for me now. I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60. It's not too late.
You really can't fix what's behind you. All you can fix what's in front of you. So today's your day. Ready?
And 33 months later, you could be debt free.
Ready, set, go. Ready, set. Yeah, it's your turn. Ready, set. You, I'm talking to you. Go! George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, if you're a new listener, and we know there's a whole bunch of you that are new viewers and listeners on YouTube, TBN, podcasts, all our numbers are up this year. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. But that also means some of you are trying to catch up on this Ramsey speak, the code.
The lingo.
What's all this baby step stuff, George? What's all this debt snowball stuff, Dave? Hey, if you want to kind of get grafted in and learn this stuff, we'll help you. Just go to RamseySolutions.com, click on Get Started. It's completely free. We'll help you figure out where you are in your financial journey and tell you what we think your next steps would be, and you'll start to learn the lingo. You'll start to figure out why it is we tell people to do all this stuff. So that's the plan. RamseySolutions.com, click Get Started. It's completely free. Amanda's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Amanda, welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hi, Dave. I lead a class of 20 homeschoolers who are taking your high school personal finance class.
Yay!
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, 20 of them. And recently we learned that CDs are not wise investments. So today in class, I proposed to them a 5% CD for 6 months. And as a class, we wanted to know what your recommendation would be to make that investment.
I'm sorry. I thought we learned that CDs are not wise investments.
They aren't, right.
And so you
At
proposed to
5%.
them a CD.
So, well, that's what there's a.
And you want to know if I think they're wise
conversation.
investments.
That was a conversation we had on the table. Should that 5%, which is a high yield for 6 months,
It's 5% annual yield, not 6-month yield. But yeah, it's not 10% a year. So,
right?
and
5%.
the inflation rate's running 9.6 right now, right? So you'd be going backward, right? In purchasing power. That's
Good
why we
point.
call them certificates of depreciation.
Good point.
So CDs might be okay to park some money for a short-term thing. A short-term thing, by definition, is not an investment. And so I wouldn't use it for an emergency fund. But let's say that I was saving money for a car or a house down payment or for a cruise or something I'm going to take in the fall. Okay? And I wanted to park my money somewhere other than in a savings account, I could put my $10,000 in at 5% and let it sit till September. And that'd be okay. But here's the trick, Amanda. It still didn't do anything. 5% of $10,000 is $500. Half of that in 6 months is $250. So you made $250. Whoop-de-doop-de. In the scale of
We're
your
talking
life.
$50,000. We were talking $50,000.
Why would you put $50,000 aside for 6 months?
That's what we were talking about in class.
What are you going to do with it after 6 months?
It was just an opportunity to make a few $1,000s in 6 months. when savings accounts were 4%.
I wouldn't have $50,000 in a savings account, though.
But
Unless
if you had other diversified investments.
I
if you
wouldn't
had
have
real estate
$50,000 in a savings account past other than my emergency fund, unless I was saving to purchase something. You see what I'm saying? There's no point in it. Why? I want the money working harder than that if it's a long-term play. If it's a short-term play, it's not really. It's not. It doesn't change your life.
It's just negligible at that point. So there's short-term savings and long-term investing.
If you have $50,000, $1,250 doesn't change your life much.
Right. So if you have real estate investments in place and you have portfolios established and you had an extra $50,000,
I would put it in those.
Put it in the mutual funds.
I'd put it in the real estate or mutual funds. It's what I do every day.
What if your real estate investments are paid off?
I would buy more real estate.
I'm sorry, say it again.
All of my real estate investments are paid off. I would buy more real estate.
So are mine.
Okay. Then buy some more. But I wouldn't put $50,000 at a poor investment just because I had some other investments that were good investments.
Good. That's what we wanted to know.
Okay. I'm so confused by this call.
And the other problem here is if you needed that money, let's say there was a great real estate opportunity, you had the cash for it, and it's tied up in the CD.
I think I was on her homeschool test, and I think I just flunked.
That was it. You're not passing.
I think I didn't answer the multiple choice
As
right.
the kids say, you're not passing the vibe check. That's what they say now when they disagree with you. They don't like your attitude and your tone. They say you're not passing the vibe check.
Yeah. If we don't like what you're saying, then we automatically don't like your tone. That's how that works. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing.
Well, here's the other problem.
What was I doing?
With CDs?
No, what was I doing in that conversation? I have no idea. I felt like I was chasing my tail.
I had a good time. I was entertained. if that's any consolation.
That's why we're here, George.
But the thing with CDs is, my high yield savings account, which is completely liquid, I'm getting 4.25% now. And so to say, hey, would you want to lock this up for the next 6 months or a year to make a little bit more and have some penalties on the interest if you take it out early? And what if the interest rates continue to go up? Well, you're locked in with that CD at that rate.
It's okay if you want to make 5% on some money that you're going to need 6 months from now. If you're going to lock it up at 5% and call that a long-term investment, that's dumb.
To say investing in CDs is
long-term investments have to outpace two things before you make what's called a real rate of return. A real rate of return is adjusted after taxes and inflation. Okay, if inflation's running 9.6, you have to make north of that. And inflation, by the way, is averaged over the last 75 years about 4.7. Okay, so lately it's been high inflation. We all know that. Before that, it was a little bit lower, but the average is around 4 or 5%. Okay, and if you figure you're going to pay taxes on it another couple of points, another 2% or so, you've got to make north of 6% on your money, 7% on your money, to break even with taxes and inflation on a long-term investment. So you've got to be in something like mutual funds where you're 10 to 11%, good real estate that's going to cash flow and give you an internal rate of return probably north of 15%, somewhere in there. But you've got to be in your long-term investments north of 5 or 6%, or you don't even break even with inflation and taxes. Now, short-term investments, you're not really investing. You're saving. There's no such thing as short-term investment. There's savings, and there's investing. Investing, by definition, has some length to it. And so would I tell you to park money into a CD in any circumstances for 10 years at 5% and lose money after inflation and taxes? No, I would not. That's, so.
Yeah. The only time I've heard you say put in a CD is when people get a big pile of money and they need patience and time, and you go, just park in a CD.
Someone passes away and your husband died and you got left $400,000, sit on it in a CD for 6 months, a year, and cry and get your head cleared before you start making good decisions. So before you start making decisions in the middle of grief or something like that. Just to give yourself time for the brain webs to clear and that kind of stuff. But again, that's not a long-term strategy. That's a parking place for a short term. If I'm going to buy something with a $50,000 in the fall, it's a parking place. 5% is fine. But even then, you need to realize the difference in 5 and 1 is $1,250 and what, $50 or $500? $50. Okay.
Is that on the 50 grand?
Yeah, that's right. So it doesn't change your life. You know, it's like I got in all kinds of trouble with the last Biden bucks thing. Biden came out and gave everybody $1,300 or whatever it was. And I said, if $1,300 changes your life, you don't have much of a life. Well, you're just snotty and you're a snob and you're just a rich guy. $1,300 is a lot of money. You shouldn't say stuff like that. The little people get mad at you. Listen, you're going to keep being little people if $1,300 changes your dadgum life. You need to have a better life than that. Where $1,300 doesn't, if $1,300 fixes your life, you were really screwed, okay, before. So that's the thing. It's okay. $1,250 is good. Send it to me. I'll do something nice with it. But please don't think that fixes anything. It doesn't.
It's not life-changing money.
It's not life-changing money. So, and when you run these things out nominally, meaning do the actual math and the actual dollars, it's a bit of a joke usually. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel is Ramsey personality co-host of the day with me. And George, I was not going to talk about this news story, but apparently people are doing stupid butt things because of this news story, so now we have to talk about it.
Yes, so we're not a news network, but we wanted to maybe quelch some of the fears that are out there that have been sparked due to the SVB fallout. So for those that don't know, Dave, can you do like an explain like I'm five as to what happened with the Silicon Valley Bank collapse?
Yes. Okay, the Silicon Valley Bank was collapsed on last Thursday, I guess it was. And the reason was pretty simple. Number one, you need to understand this about their bank. That the vast majority of the customers in that bank were hedge funds, venture capitalists, and tech startups. They were not mom and pop. Granny's CD was not over at this bank. That's not who they catered to. Okay? So to put that in perspective, FDIC insurance of $250,000 covers your up to $250,000. The government covers your deposits in the event of a bank failure. All right. The typical bank, it covers 75 to 80% of the deposits. In other words, rich people have $500,000 or $800,000 or $1 million or something in your local bank, but most people are $250,000 and under. This bank was the inverse of that. North of 90% of the deposits are not covered. That means these were all multi-million-dollar customers sitting in that bank. So these were players. And they done got caught. Okay, this is what happened. So this does not affect your local bank at all. It has almost nothing to do with your local bank. It's a bunch of Silicon Valley tech startups and venture capitalists from all over the place. I mean, I know I've got two friends in Nashville that are venture capitalists. They had money in that bank, lost money. Okay, and but they play us. All right, they're not. This is not Granny's CD, for God's sakes. All right, so your bank is safe. Calm your butt down. This has nothing to do with that. And what happened was, typically what banks do, this bank included, in order to have a stable balance sheet, a balance sheet that is very safe to back up the deposits, is they will buy bonds. Now, if you didn't know, bond interest rates have an inverse relationship with bond prices. What that means is, as interest rates rise, bond values go down. So they had a whole bunch of bonds that they bought when interest rates were 1.7, 1.8%. Interest rates are currently about 4% on the bond market, which means their bond portfolio had gone down in value dramatically, and they had billions in bonds.
So on paper, they had lost money.
On paper, they lost a ton of money. Well, then they got scared, and a couple people got spooked, and they start unloading a bunch of those bonds, and then the rumor mill kicks in. The venture capitalist boys come flying in like they do and start scarfing the money, and they close the bank.
And that's what the bank run is.
They close the
when
bank.
all the customers show
So
up at
your
once.
local bank, A, is going to cover the vast majority of depositors. You're fine. B, there's not a bunch of players in your local bank. That's not who's dealing in there. Even freaking Bank of America, which I hate, and I don't know why anybody would do business with them. They're horrible. But even they have almost, I mean, it's like 40% of their deposits are covered, right? And it's like these guys it was all rich people, super rich people in there. So it's just, number one, you wouldn't have money in a bank. So bond interest rates have gone up, bond values have gone down. Consequently, though, due to the bank crash and the closing of this bank, then they closed two others just like it because they were afraid they were going to. FDIC gets to pay for all this crap, and the FDIC starts shutting it down. When they smell anything looks just like this, they shut down two more, right? And took them over. They'll sell off the assets. They'll collect all the money to recoup the insurance. If there's any money left for the insurance, and there won't be, then they will distribute that to the people, the depositors. The stockholders will get zip. Which is exactly what they deserve.
It was trading at $2.50 a share.
This is
now
called
it's zero.
capitalism. When you screw stuff up, you lose your money. That's for those people that are in that bank. That's what happened. And they knew what they were in. Every one of them knew what they were in. Again, your grandmother's CD wasn't over there. You're okay. My local bank is fine. I've got deposits in excess of $250,000 in my local bank, in excess of all the limits in my local bank. I am not worried about it one iota, not a penny. Okay. But the great news is the bond market freaked out because they kind of caused this with the interest rates going up, and bond interest rates dropped. Bond prices went up. Translation, your mortgage rates are cheaper today than they were this time last week. If you were going to get a mortgage in the next month or so and get a house, run to your mortgage company before all the dust settles on this. This is a great time to get a mortgage. Go to Churchill Mortgage today and lock in your mortgage today, because this is an anomaly. It may settle back up by 2 weeks from now. All right. But it dropped a quarter to a half, depending on what kind of mortgage you're looking at, because bond interest rates went down. Bond prices went up because these dubers were flooding the market with their bonds, and the bond people went, oh, look at us. We support all the local banks, because almost every local bank everywhere buys bonds to put on their balance sheet to, quote, stabilize their balance sheet. It only stabilizes their balance sheet, which is the great joke of the bond market, if the interest rates are stable. But when interest rates go up from 2 to 5, then guess what? Your bond prices go down.
And then everyone shows up at the bank.
And that bond you bought that was so stable now is worth less because you were betting on an interest rate market to give you a stability, and that was a dumb move. So here we go. All that to say, get your mortgage right now. Go to Churchill Mortgage today. And if you're thinking about buying a house and you're just kind of on the fence, this is going to be your month, baby. This is going to be the time to jump in. Jump online, get you an ELP with real estate, whatever it is you got to do here. This is the time, and people are going and buying gold, George.
Oh my goodness.
Banks are going to fail. It's like they live in the Wild Wild West or something. You don't know how the FDIC insurance works? The entire federal government would have to fail for you to not get your money out of your bank when you have less than $250,000 in your bank. Quit acting like you're...
Don't cash out
dadgum
your bank. Don't cash out your investments.
Everything on the internet's true. Abraham Lincoln said that. I mean, come on, guys. You believe every conspiracy theory out there. These banks are not on the wire. They're not about to collapse. It's going to be like 2008. 2008 was not a banking collapse. It wasn't what happened.
Don't fall for the fear. Turn off the headlines. There's a lot of fear-mongering happening right now.
Yeah, calm down. Calm down. You may need to turn off the news. It's not good for some of you.
At least a week or two.
It's not good for some of you. You really react poorly to the wrong information. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. George Campbell Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George, one of the things we've noticed about millionaires over the years, back to our bank failure story, is that when there's breaking news, right? Breaking news, which it does always breaking something, right? The millionaire investor doesn't react. They just sit back and kind of go, that's interesting. The get-rich-quick person, the scared, the broke person, the person who's destined to stay broke, overreacts, oversteers the car, and flips it. And go, that's it! I'm cashing out of everything, and I'm buying Beanie Babies! Because they lose their freaking minds, you know? I'm going to buy gold! I knew it! Crypto was right all along! I'm in again! Bernie Madoff's my man! You know, I mean, you bite off on some of the stupid butt stuff when you freak out. And if you catch yourself freaking out, and like your pulse rate is up, you're over caffeinated, you know, and wait 24 hours and turn off the TV and stay off of Tic Tac, because it's going to tell you all the bad news and how the world's coming to an end. Breathe. Investors that become wealthy and stay wealthy are the ones that invest steadily, calmly. They do make changes, but they do not oversteer on one little patch of ice. They just let off the gas and roll across the ice until the pavement's clear again.
No sudden
And then there's no spin out, no flip, no roll, no airbag release in your life. But the people that overreact tend to, and I can tell you, in my personal life, the times that I've lost the most money are when I overreacted to something. When I either was scared, mad, and it's what Dr. Deloney talks about all the time. You know, when you're in the middle of trauma, facts are your friends. Breathe. Wait 24 hours until your pulse rate comes down. Rethink this. Look at what wealthy people are really doing. Now, I'm not talking about players like venture capitalists, what they're doing. I'm talking about people that have $5-10 million. They're steady. They're predictable. They're the tortoise. Don't oversteer.
Yeah. Well, you've said that we are in the business of selling crock pots, not microwaves. And when you have that mindset, you know, this blip in the stock market because of the bank collapsing, we go, okay, S&P's down 1%. Big whoop. I'm investing for the long term. I'm not cashing out.
I'm not buying today, and I'm not selling today because of that. Although if I were doing one or the other, it would be buying because I feel like it's on sale, because it's an artificial short-term blip. Here, mark my words. Put it on your calendar. 1 month from today, remind yourself to see if you even remember this. The SVP bank failure in the Silicon Valley. 1 month from today. See if you even remember it until you bring it up. It won't be top of funnel. It won't be something everybody's talking about. It'll be a distant memory. Psst, missed.
Well, it's also a good reminder to not invest in single stocks. I saw it was on the top of Jim Cramer's list for April of 2022.
Oh, he got fried, didn't he?
Number
Poor
one choice
Jim.
was Silicon Valley Bank to put all your money in. And wow.
It's a buy! How is it he says it? How's he say it?
I think that's it.
It's a button?
Yeah, he just
Buy!
smashes all the buttons.
I love Jim. He's so fun. I wouldn't do anything he says, but he's so fun. I like him. I've met him a couple of times. I really
seems
like
like a
him
fun
personally.
guy.
He's a lot of he's but his whole thing is single stocks, and of course we tell people not to do that, and we don't buy single stocks. So
I just sleep better at night, not having to track
have you ever
all
seen
that
all the
junk.
stuff they trash that guy? I mean, of course they trash us. So what do we know about they? But if people that follow the Jim Cramer Index, that if you
I've
actually
seen he did the
invested
opposite.
according to him, how much you would have actually made, it's horrendous. But I don't know if it's accurate. I mean, you might have actually made money. I don't know. But I'm not. It's entertaining as crud, though. I love the show. It's fun to watch. I don't buy single stocks, so I'm not going to act on
We
his
don't have a
advice
dog
anyway.
in this fight.
But I will tell you, too, on a personal level, he's a fun guy. He really is. But poor guy,
I think you need
talk
some
about
buttons
the
on
worst.
the
It's
show.
like the time that I said something about a tornado and like the next day one hit.
Yeah.
You remember that?
That was poor timing.
That
We
was
can all agree.
that was kind of Kramer's thing. I said it tore up Jack. I mean, like 3 people in our office lost their houses. You know, and I'm making fun of tornadoes the day before. Like, the chances of a tornado hitting, you're about nothing. And then Nashville just gets fried the next day. I got destroyed.
There's a phrase for that. It's aged like milk.
Oh, that
know, when
didn't age well, Ramsey. Yeah, you're making fun of like they closed the schools in our area because tornadoes might
that's
come
right.
tomorrow. And I'm like, your grandparents are rolling over in their grave. Tornadoes might come tomorrow, so you close the schools today? I'm like, good Lord, everybody buy a helmet for everything. I was going off on it, really. And then the next day we get just hammered with tornadoes in Nashville, and everybody's like, Ramsey, that didn't age well. No, it didn't. I got destroyed.
If I could turn back time.
Poor Kramer, he got the same thing. It's his tornado moment.
We all have one of those to humble ourselves.
The little guy that does Nashville Weather Service or whatever, he was all pissed off at me.
Yeah.
Everybody. What's his name? I can't remember.
He's got the big Twitter account.
Is it big?
It's big.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I called him a little guy. Maybe he's a big guy.
He's got
Okay.
subscribers now.
He has subscribers
A
and
Patreon.
stuff. But anyway, yeah, he was pissed off because I made fun of his tornadoes. And don't mess with the weather guy's tornadoes. You're really messing. That's
I'm
personal.
not messing. Meteorologists are
That's
scary.
personal. They're personal.
They know too much.
They'll send one after you, apparently.
They got radars and stuff.
So, moral of the story is this. You're probably not going to die of a tornado or this bank failure. So me and Jim Cramer, we're both useless.
Way to put a bow on it. Full circle.
John is in Tacoma, Washington. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing good. I hope you can be useful to me at least.
I'll give it a shot, brother. What's up?
So last week, my parents came to my wife and I and offered us to rent out their house to us while they traveled the country and live in different places for a couple of years. But if we did that, we would have to sell our house that we live in right now. And we kind of just want your opinion on this. I heard you're experts on your opinion, so I figured I'd call out.
You're right about that. Why would you do this?
Well, I did dumb in 2020 when I bought this house because I justified it to myself as, well, it's the same as paying rent around here, so why not buy a house? And I bought it with 3% down on a 30-year.
Okay. So what do you owe on the house?
$289,500.
What's your interest rate?
2.875.
What's the house worth today?
$400.
Okay. Doesn't sound like you're hurting too bad to me.
Is the mortgage a huge part of your take-home pay?
When I bought it, before I was married, and it was a huge, but now it's less than 25. But if we were to pay it off like a 15, it would be more than 25.
Yeah, but you're right around the bubble, and you got a great interest rate, and the house has gone up in value. Why are you moving again?
Do you have other debt?
Well, no, we're in baby step 4 and 6. It's just we feel like if we sell the house, we might be able to save up faster and get a bigger down payment. And we're not in love with the house either. Like, I bought the house.
That house is going up faster than your account you're going to be saving up in.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes more sense to pay down your current mortgage than it does to go save up.
Are you going to live for free in your parents' house?
It'd be 2 or 3. We would write up a contract.
Would it be free?
No, we would pay the mortgage and utilities, which averages out to about $950 a month.
No, I'll pass. Stay right where you are. You got a low interest rate. Your house is going up in value. You don't hate your house, but you're not staying there forever anyway. While it goes up in value, just keep paying on your house. Let mom and dad get them a renter.
Even if I'm on a 30-year mortgage.
You can pay it like a 15, even if it's a little over the bubble. You're in 4, 5, and 6. Start paying it like a 15 and work the system.
Nothing's on fire here. This isn't worth uprooting your life for.
Yeah, you're not house poor. You're not stuck. I agree with you. I would not have bought it the way you bought it, but the way you've ended up has worked out for you in spite of that. And so you're in a good place today. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save up to 50% off everything site-wide. Visit Blinds.com today to learn more. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Jacob and Ashley are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Fabulous.
Good. How you doing?
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Independence, Missouri.
Oh, cool. Good to have you. How much debt have you paid off?
$61,000.
All right. How long did this take?
Took 16 months.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
See, we started about $126,000 and ended at $144,000.
Very cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a truck driver.
Ah, very good. What kind of debt was your $61,000?
All of it was student loans.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you're nursing?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Some of both. I had student loans from school a long time ago that were never paid off.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good. So how long you guys been married?
This May will be 2 years.
Okay, so right after you got married, you looked up and said, boom, we got to attack this. Is that the story? What happened?
Well, it actually started about 6 years ago. I had gotten in credit card debt, and a friend of mine gave me your book. I started listening to your radio show. So I did the snowball debt with my credit cards. That kind of turned into, as we were dating, we both owed about the same amount on our vehicles. So we're like, well, let's just make this a competition between each other. And so our dating just kind of
Wow. That's a bold
went
move.
with it.
Do you let her win at that point for courtship? How does this work?
Yeah.
Make me nervous.
Well, she won because I had to stop giving all my extra payments to my pickup because I had to save for a ring, but I couldn't tell her that. So I kind of had to keep that one kind of tucked off.
Sounds like she won.
I won, though.
She
I did.
won,
She
yeah.
won,
I'll
and
give
she
it to
won
her. She
again,
won.
It was
and she won
rigged.
again, and she keeps winning. And you're smart because she won. I'm just saying, you were smart. Figure out a way to let her win. That was a good move. But I don't even think you had to let her do anything. She's going to win anyway. But there you go. Well done.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
She was on a mission to get done. And
So you're working on the cars, and then you get married, and the student loans are all that's left.
So we kind of cash flowed our wedding and honeymoon in that process. And then from the day that we got married, we had a combined debt of $61,000. So that was what we did in the 16 months.
Oh, very good. So you'd cleared the cars, and previous to that, you'd cleared the credit cards.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So here we go.
We wanted to go in with as little baggage as possible.
Yeah, very good.
That's the way to do it. So I'm curious, was it easier once you combined incomes to attack this collective debt?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we were in our individual debt snowballs when we were dating and then, of course, engaged. But we never mixed anything until the day we got married, like literally until after the honeymoon, actually. But while we were engaged, we had a fund for the wedding. We had an idea of what we wanted to spend, and we kind of held each other accountable, real specific goals on what we gave to that. So that was finished off. We paid for the wedding in full, the honeymoon in full, and it was early enough that we could make a couple more payments on my truck and then her on her student loans before the wedding day, and paid off the truck right there.
And you'd already looked at, gosh, when we get to put this together, it's going to go zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the math plenty of times before the wedding day, so we knew about what time we were looking at, and we kept to it real strict.
Okay, newlywed couple time, ready? Who tried to mess up the wedding budget? Which one of you? Which one of you had picked out something that you had a little fit because you couldn't do it?
He kind of wanted more things, really. I was one that like, we can stick to this budget more. He was like, ooh, this looks cool. This looks cool.
Yeah, but
So
it was
probably
the
him,
good
but-
stuff. I wanted a good photographer and a good DJ. Other than that, I just wanted a great honeymoon. The rest of it was on her.
I'm with that. You got to have the dance party and the good
Sounds
photos.
like a guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the
Good
flower
pictures,
arrangements.
good food, and a honeymoon. That's all I care about. The rest of it, all right.
Care less about the bouquet.
For sure.
Good for
Well
you
done,
guys.
you guys. Well done. That's fun. All right, now that you did it, you're superheroes. Nobody in America has done what you've done, hardly. It's pretty amazing. You're standing on the Ramsey Solutions debt-free stage. You did it.
I know.
And paid off $61,000 in addition to all the other stuff in the story. But after you've been married, you paid off $61,000 in just 16 months.
Yeah.
What's the secret to getting out of debt?
I think just the dedication and the discipline of doing it. And we'd kind of like check in with each other every couple of months, like, okay, well, we've paid this much. Let's, we just kept checking in and stuck with it.
Yeah, we communicated a lot. We communicated very consistently in detail about everything associated with the debt payoff. Every check or every month, or if we put in extra shifts or whatever, we just kept really close tally on exactly how long this was going to take.
So you're both very much goal oriented anyway. Sounds like.
We
Like
tried to
when you
be,
laid it down, you said, "Okay, let's do it. Game on. Every little thing, every slice."
Yep.
Yeah, we sold. We had 2 motorcycles. We had fun with them, but we knew we could sell them, and they were selling high at the time. So we sold those, put the money on it. They're kind of a dime a dozen anyway. We could replace them anytime. So at that point, I think the debt forgiveness that they had pushed off was getting ready to come to an end, or not the forgiveness, but the interest was getting ready to come to an end pretty soon. So we really wanted to get as much knocked out as we could before that. But when they offered the debt forgiveness, it was about a week before we were set to make our final payments, and it was
Like, we're not stopping now.
there was no reason.
We're here. We're
you
not.
know.
We're not trusting it. We're just doing it.
There was no reason to stop. All the momentum we had built up at that time, we were right there in front of it, So, and if we had have said, let's go ahead and let them finish off this for us, we'd still be sitting there with these balances right now.
Wow. So you did a debt eviction instead of debt forgiveness, which I think is the better path because you're in control at that point.
Yeah.
Man, you
So
guys
George,
are amazing.
that is the script, the narrative that he just laid out is the narrative of people that win versus I'm going to wait on the government to fix my life, or the people that don't win. And so this is, it's I take control. I take agency. I take control of my life, of the controllables in my life, and I'm not going to sit around and wait on the DMV to make my life better. Have you ever thought about government service as an oxymoron? Seriously. So I'm not going to wait on Washington to make my life better. I'm going to go take this thing, and I'm not going to. If they had stopped based on the news, they'd be sitting here right now in debt, and they wouldn't be on that stage.
Yep.
And a year from now, same thing. And a year from now, same thing. So people that take control of their lives are the ones that win. I'm so proud of y'all.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
rock stars, man.
Yeah,
You're
appreciate it.
amazing.
Feels
I can't
good.
say rock stars anymore after that Super Bowl commercial. But yeah, it was amazing. Very well done.
Thank you.
Good work. Very cool. You're heroes. I can say that for sure.
I appreciate it.
Because in America today, you're highly, highly, highly unusual. We got a copy of the whole Live and Give bundle for you. That's the Baby Steps Millionaires book, #1 bestseller. That's the next step on your journey for sure. The Total Money Makeover book you can give to someone that's inspired by your story and say, this is what we did. Same thing with Financial Peace University membership. We're going to give you all three. And people buy that Live and Give bundle and take pieces of it, give it away. We're going to give it all to say thank you for coming from Independence, Missouri to Nashville to do your debt-free scream. Newlyweds, Jacob and Ashley. They are goal-oriented people. Goal-oriented people win. You just can't stop them. $61,000 paid off in 16 months, making 126 to 144. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah!
I love this so much.
It's powerful. Go ahead.
It's just amazing to me that they decided we're not going to wait. I get messages every day, and people are going, George, should I wait? Because what if the government? And I go, just repeat that back to yourself. What if the government? Stop right there. You know what to do, but people live in fear and they get paralyzed by the what ifs.
Well, here's what's really interesting. I mean, I've been doing this so long now that I pick up. Just because of 30 years of standing in front of debt-free screams, you pick up the little nuances in their body language with each other, the way they're talking about it. Like I said, who almost broke the wedding budget? And they're like, that's a dumb question. Neither one of us. Did you see that? They kind of got this quizzical look on their face like, no.
Are you going to take the fall?
Nobody, you fool. I mean, he tried, but nobody was going to break them. We had a plan. We're sticking to the plan. We're sticking to the plan. We're sticking to the plan. Because we're not victims. We're victors. And it's perfect. I mean, that couple, having conquered that in the first 16 months of their marriage, can now conquer. They can slay any dragon that comes at them because they know how to fight together.
Because that same mentality works in every area of your life.
You don't have to fight each other. You need to fight together. The enemy's outside your house, not inside your house. This is The Ramsey Show. So when was the last time you were excited about a Monday? What if instead of waking up exhausted, you felt exhilarated? That you can't wait to get to work because it's another day to fulfill your passion? Sometimes around here I get tired, but I don't dread coming to work. I might be tired because we're on the road, we're working a bunch of hours, travel is draining, all that kind of stuff, but I don't hate it. In a world where the bare minimum Monday trend has taken the place of quiet quitting, it's clear people are craving meaningful work, but finding the career you were born to do can be difficult when you don't have the right tools. That's why career expert and Ramsey personality Ken Coleman created the Get Clear career assessment to help you discover your top talents, passions, and a clear mission statement that'll help you find the work that the world needs you to do. After taking the quick assessment, you'll get a custom report with everything you need to take that first step towards a meaningful career. And that's not mythology. It really works. Go to RamseySolutions.com/getclear. RamseySolutions.com/getclear. So, George, our ratings are up on podcasts, on YouTube, everywhere we go. And I think the reason is that people are doing the three things that we ask them to do, and it's very helpful to us, guys. All kidding and snarkiness aside, it's very helpful if you will do a couple of things.
Yeah, number one is share the show. So you've got friends, you've got a social media account, just posting a link, telling them about it, super helpful. The other one is subscribing. So you might listen to the show, you don't realize you're not subscribed, you're not following on Spotify or YouTube or all of these places, and that helps us as well. And so the other thing you can do is leave a review. And so if you enjoy the show, we love to read those reviews and see what you guys think about the show. And don't be snarky and just leave like negative reviews. You can save those for the YouTube comments or something. We want to spread hope. And the way you do that is by telling people how the show has impacted you.
Mama said if you ain't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
That was before the internet existed. Now everyone's they've got their bullhorn out there.
Now everybody's got an opinion. But listen, just, if you don't like the show, quit listening. It's okay. We can deal with that.
I always wonder who those people are. Yeah. Every day they're listening as a hate listen or something. Just find a new show.
Hate listen. I don't listen to things that make me mad every day. I don't hate listen to anything.
Yeah, you got enough to get you riled up. You don't need that.
Well, that's true. I have that. But
it's a special kind of boredom where you have to seek out things to make you angry. You need help.
Yeah, there's kind of an addiction to it almost now. It's kind of weird. But anyway, hey, please help us. Subscribe, follow, and leave a 5-star review. John is with us. John is in Fort Collins, Colorado. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, maybe not a quick question, but a question. I just retired at age 63. I have health insurance and a severance pay, sort of an early retirement thing until I hit 64. But the questions I have, and I can answer questions you have with regards to our portfolio, but do we need long-term care insurance? If so, how do I fund it? And then also your thoughts on maybe taking a pension that I have that I can take as a lump sum and putting some of that into an annuity to offset the market. Never considered that before. And to your point on some of the previous calls, don't want to make any fear-based decisions, especially on the LTC piece. So would welcome your insight.
Yeah. Okay. Long-term care insurance, if you do buy it, never buy it bundled with other insurance products. Only buy freestanding policies. Way too expensive the other way. All kinds of hooks and gotchas and loops and the other stuff. Just if you're going to buy long-term care insurance, just go to an independent insurance agent, have them shop long-term care only. There's a lot of these companies are bundling it with whole life, other life insurance products. They suck. They're horrible. The ratios are nasty bad, and boy, do they know how to sell it. It's a slimy product. So anyway, having said that, just long-term care if you need it. Now, here's the thing. Here's your long-term care exposure. If you're under 60, you have almost no long-term care exposure. You said 6'3", though, didn't you?
Yes, I'm 63. My wife is 60.
Okay. So now you're starting to have some long-term care exposure. Long-term care meaning nursing home care or in-home care in the ability you had a long-term debilitating situation. Early onset dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever, or you just get old and the nursing home comes into play, whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. All right. So now here's the statistics for you. The typical long-term care situation is the average person stays 2.5 years. And right now it's running $80,000 to $100,000 a year. So this is a $250,000 average exposure. So if you have $5 million, you're self-insured. You just pay for it. Okay.
Okay.
If you have $500,000, I want you to get long-term care insurance. Because typically what happens is 75% of you ladies out there will outlive your husbands. And the typical scenario is Papa goes into the nursing home, burns through $200,000 or $300,000 of the $500,000 nest egg, dies and leaves Mama with only $200,000, or burns through $300,000. That's all they had. And that sounded like a lot of money and then they're mad at the nursing home, like the nursing home did something wrong. And so you don't want to do that. So what's your net worth, John?
Net worth is $4.2 million.
I would self-insure.
Okay. And it's funny you say that because I was thinking based on I've been following you a long time and it's helped us tremendously over the years, but we did meet with an advisor that had recommended one of these insurance products, and it made no sense to me because as I look at it, what you were paying for that would be $20,000 a year for my wife and I, and the long-term care piece that came with the insurance really wouldn't be enough to cover more than 6 months. Yeah. So I'm glad you cleared up.
Here's what's going to happen at our house. Okay, we won't be going to a nursing home. I've got like you, I have a substantial net worth. Okay, if something happens to me and I am bedridden or I need assistance, we will bring in full-time care. It's as cheap as a nursing home, and it's a highly increased quality of life. Now,
right.
if something happened to one of us and the other one's left behind, the kids are going to pay the bill, and I'm going to pay the bill, and the kids are going to make sure the person's showing up and taking care of me in the house, because I'm rich enough that I'm a full-time freaking nurse taking care of me. That's what it amounts to, right? And that really, can you do that for $100,000 a year? Pretty dadgum close, right?
Right.
And that's what a nursing home costs. So it's not like you're spending twice as much because you're some rich guy or something. But that's what's going to happen at the Ramseys. We'll not only, I'm not mad at nursing homes. I think they do a wonderful job, and they serve it's actually a ministry for a lot of people in a lot of situations. But choosing that versus me and a series of staff taking care of my wife if something happens to her and she's there, that's what we're doing. I'm not going to do it by myself. Right. I'm going to get help, but I'm going to get medical staff because we can afford it. That's why we worked our butts off all these years, you know?
Amen to that. Any feedback or any suggestions on where that would come from? Because, of course, the market's declining now. Right now, I don't have to dip into the portfolio.
Where would you, if you wanted to get $100,000 a year, where would you get it? It's not that big a deal.
Well, I'd have to pull from my investments now. Or I've got,
Whoopee.
Okay.
$100,000 out of 4.7, I think you'll probably be okay. This could go on until you're 162.
Either. Yeah, okay.
I would also consider firing your advisor, John, because it sounds like they're an insurance salesperson in advisor's clothing, and that worries me.
It's somebody we met that's no, I don't want to give too much detail.
It's fine. But I always get a little nervous when someone goes, yeah, my financial advisor is trying to sell me on whole life. Yeah, you got a whole life insurance salesman.
Yeah, because got to tell you, there's no SmartVestor Pros that sell whole life. People in the financial business don't sell that crap. The only people that sell that crap are insurance people. That's it. I mean, and then they say, well, I'm a financial advisor. Bull crap, you're an insurance agent. So different. George is right. And so your new friend is an insurance agent. Let's just call them what they are. And they sell bad long-term care, just for the record. Wouldn't want anybody to be confused about this. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. It's common sense for your dollars and cents. If you're the guy who pulled your money out of Bernie Madoff just in time to put it into crypto and pulled it out of there just in time to put it in a safe bank in Silicon Valley, we're your place. We can help people like you.
Please call in if that's you. I got to hear your story. Oof.
He says, I put it in the bank because it's safe.
One would think.
Oh, Andrea is with us. Andrea is in Long Island. Hey, Andrea, how are you?
Hey, Dave and George. It's wonderful to speak to you. Thank you for taking my call. Before I ask my question really quickly, my husband and I have been followers of Ramsey since January of 21, and as of last February, we are completely debt-free.
So,
awesome.
Way to go.
So now to my question, George and Dave. My mom and I purchased the home back in 2004. I was obviously much younger. I am married now, husband, 2 girls, and the house is becoming kind of small. My mom wants to move out. Just to have her space. She wants to rent something initially. So, and I've been pretty much paying the mortgage for the past 15 years. Just her financial situation hasn't been that great, but she can afford, rent going forward. So my question is, I want to be able to be fair to my mom. Obviously, she is owner of this house, half as I am. We don't want to sell the house. We are comfortable in terms of paying the mortgage, but I want to be fair to my mom. So I'm trying to understand. We haven't had that conversation yet, but I know if we will have it, what would my responsibility be in terms of giving the half to my mom? Would it be the half of what the house is worth, what we owe, the market value? So I'm calling just for some guidance to do the right thing.
What's the house worth?
$637,000.
Okay, and what do you owe on it?
$484.
Okay, all right. Hey,
You've been here for 19 years, you said? Have you refinanced?
We did once, and then we had to modify the mortgage because at one point financial situation wasn't great. So $100,000 of that $484, it's kind of like on standby. We're not being charged interest for that. But if we refinance or if we sell it, obviously I'm going to be responsible for that.
No, something's wrong with your equation, okay? You don't have $100,000 on standby. Do you have an open line of credit against the house and have not drawn on it?
No. Just the mortgage papers say that $100,000 of that amount is not being. They're not charging me interest on that amount.
Why?
Because we kind of modified the mortgage. If you remember back in 2010.
Oh wait.
Yes. Well, we kind of not refinance, but we
modified it. You modified it with and it's still sitting there. Wow.
And our interest rate was much higher.
Okay, so you've paid the mortgage payments. Did Mom put down any of the down payment?
My mom and my dad at that point, they put about $10,000.
$10,000. Mm-hmm. And how much did you put down at the time?
I think I may have put like $5,000.
Okay. All right. Well, to start with, we're not dealing with $637. We're dealing with what the net proceeds would be if you sold the house, which would be about 85 to 90% of that. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so about $60,000, $70,000 less, which means we're dealing with about $90,000 of equity is all. Mm-hmm. Okay. She put in 10, you put in 5, and you've paid all the payments. If you want a mathematical formula for what's fair, I don't know what your mother's going to say, but you're 50-50 owners, but you've not been 50-50 contributors. And you obviously did no written agreement on this whatsoever.
No.
That was dumb. Okay. I guess a quick and dirty would be to add up all of your payments, add $5,000 to it, and see what percentage of the property you own then.
Okay.
Like, how much are your payments been?
I haven't done obviously.
Well, what's your payment now?
15 years. Oh, sure. It's $2,812.
$2,800.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right, and you've done this for 19 years?
No. It was much higher before. It was close to 5,000. That's why we had a real financial issue. Yeah.
But you bought the property 19 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right, and so, sheesh. If we add up all of the payments, she doesn't own much. Mm-hmm. Because, you guys hardly put anything into it. The majority of the investment in the property has been through the payments. Agreed?
Correct.
And so if we add up 19 years of $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and we said, okay, that is your percent, and she put in and plus $5,000, and she put in $10,000. You're going to end up owning 90% of the property if we use that formula.
Right.
And that's not inaccurate, by the way. She paid 0 on the payments and lived there for free for 20 years.
Yeah, well, so just
if she got back her 10 grand, we would call her happy.
She did. I've been paying for the last 15, right? So about 4 of those, my mom and dad had a business which was really profitable. So they did make those payments. So I just paid the last 15, pretty majority of it.
So 75%.
Let me give you a math formula, okay? Add up all the payments that they paid plus $10,000.
Okay.
Add up all the payments that you paid plus $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then those two numbers are 100%, and either one of those numbers as a percentage of 100%.
Okay.
So I think that you are going to end up still owning 90% of this house.
Right.
Because I think about 90% of the money has gone in as yours. I could be wrong.
And how will you come up with that money to give to them?
Well, that's what I have been confused.
Yeah,
about.
if you wanted to give her $10,000, where would you get it?
Oh, okay. So I would say that. I mean, we're in baby step 3 right now, right? So
after baby step 3, you would just save her up and give her some money.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I think you're going to owe her no more than $10,000 or $20,000 if our formula becomes the agreement that you guys come to. That's a fair formula, but I don't know. I mean, she may think she owns 50% of it, even though she didn't put in 50% of the money. That's possible. I don't know what
messy.
Mom thinks. Yeah. This is ouch. This is the Ramsey Show. Folks, we've been working on an exciting new event with Ken Coleman. It's called Career Breakthrough. Whether you feel stuck in your current job because of fear and doubt, or you have an idea you want to pursue and you don't know how to get there, or you just need someone to tell you can do it, that you need to do this, Ken Coleman is that person, and his event, Career Breakthrough, is for you. You can join Ken live in person this spring for an event that will give you clarity, confidence, and courage to do the work you were born to do. No more sitting on the sidelines or playing it safe. Time for a breakthrough. You can join Ken at his Career Breakthrough events. Kansas City, Missouri, April 20th. Chicago, Illinois, May 16. Atlanta, Georgia, May 18. Dallas, Texas, May 23rd. Tickets start at just $50. Head on over to RamseySolutions.com/events and get your tickets right now. Igor is with us in Kona, Hawaii. Hey, Igor, how are you?
Good, Dave. How you doing today?
Great. Igor or Igor?
Igor.
Igor. I'm sorry. I messed up. I apologize. Hate to mess up somebody's name. There's nothing worse. How can I help, Igor?
Oh, no. Yes, we're actually at a point where we're trying to make a decision whether or not to update one of our cars, buy a new car, and put the other car as a rental here. As you know, tourism is a big thing here. And at this point in time, we have, no debt. We do have, a good financial situation, and we're looking to, buy a house next year. So what we're trying to figure out is, do we go and pay cash for this car and, put our other car as a rental, or do we just keep on piling away cash until we're ready to buy next year? If we were to buy the car, it'd be around $30,000. If we were to put the other car as a rental, we'd be making about anywhere from about $1,500 to $2,000 a month is our rough estimate. And that's basically the decision we're trying to figure out and make. Another thing is, we have a baby that's coming later this year, so
congratulations.
We're looking. Thank you. So we have about, with taxes that we have to pay here shortly, and some medical expenses that we have coming up, we have about $40,000 worth of expenses coming up in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months, which we have cash to pay for.
What's that?
Say what again?
What's your expense?
Our taxes we're filing, we should be, it should be coming in, and we'll have to pay about $30,000, between federal and state and whatnot. And then for our medical, will be about $10,000. I have a shoulder surgery I have to do, which will be about $5,000, because we do have medical insurance. And then the baby will also be about $5,000 because we do have insurance, but they do charge a deductible.
Yeah. Okay. So how'd you end up $30K in the hold of the IRS? Well,
no, we don't owe them. This is just based off of our last year's tax bill, of what we earned. That's roughly what we paid between state and federal. This year we earned more, so once we submit those taxes, it'll be right around that amount too.
So you'll have a $30,000 bill?
You're self-employed.
No. Yeah, self-employed. That's what I.
So why are you not doing quarterly estimates?
That's a great question.
How long have you been self-employed?
About, I'd say 3 years.
Okay, you got big time penalties coming your way, brother, because you didn't do quarterly estimates. You're required in the second year of your business by IRS regs to do quarterly estimates and withhold on yourself and pay in quarterly what you owe. By not doing that, you've added $3,000 or $4,000 to your bill.
Okay. So that's something we're definitely going to look at.
Yeah, you need to get some professional tax advice quickly and stop doing it the way you're doing it. But okay, so you need $40K out of your pocket and a down payment for a house and a baby's on the way and there's a shoulder surgery. The last thing you need is somebody driving your car as a rental. You have enough things going on in your life.
You got enough liabilities hanging around you right now.
You got enough things going on in your life. And you're trying to buy a house. How much cash have you got?
So as of right now, we have $135 about in cash, and we have 2 paid off cars, which we bought in cash.
Yeah.
So we have no debt. No.
The goal, if I'm you, is have a paid for house as soon as possible. At the end of the story, 5 years, 4 years, 10 years, whatever it is, okay? In order to do that, I'm going to put down as much as I can put down. In order to do that, I'm going to put as little towards anything else as I can and put the largest possible down payment. Obviously, we've got to take care of the shoulder and the baby and the IRS. Obviously. There's nothing in this equation that says you have to buy a car this year. This is not the year for you to do that, and it's certainly not the year to put a car out on the rental program. Just in general, I mean, Airbnb is tough enough. That's the same thing for houses that you're doing with your car, right? You're running that Turo or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
the difference is houses go up in value and cars go down in value. So that scares me as part of this. And someone the wear and tear on that car is going to be very high comparatively to you driving it with extra liability.
And I want to check with your insurance guy. I don't know how they're insuring these things.
I think you need extra insurance, and Turo includes but I've seen people who get denied for their claims, and it can be real dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, there's even situations where somebody's like delivering pizza, and their car insurance will say, "Well, we don't cover commercial vehicles. They don't cover you while you're delivering the pizza." That kind of stuff.
If you have a paid-for house and you want to fool with this for fun as a side hustle, you can do that later on. But you got enough going on, man.
Yeah, you got a plate full, man. You run your own business, even. Yeah, you've never seen a deal you didn't like, though. So, stay away from this one.
I've seen those TikTok videos, Dave, where they go, "This is the best side hustle. I'm making $2,000 a month." It's all the upside, none of the downside.
Yeah, like nobody. Yeah, all the smells people could leave in your car. Just visualize all of them, okay? And they'll all be there when you're done with this. I'm just saying, this is a bad idea. There's a lot of stuff I'll rent out, but my car is not one of them.
Sorry, America, if you were hoping to drive Dave's car. Not anytime soon.
Sean's in Portland, Maine. Hey, Sean, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Hey, George. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So, my wife and I had about $100K in student debt loans, and we got Gazelle Intense back in 2020. We paid off a pretty good chunk, and I'm left with just under $30K left. And one of the things that I've been kind of sitting on is whether to wait out the loans that are left are my federal loans. And right now there's that interest waiting period, and I've been taking advantage of that, paying monthly. And so what I'm trying to figure out is I've got some money on the side that we usually have as an emergency fund, and whether or not to use that money to pay off the debts entirely.
How much money?
So there's about $50K in a high yield savings bank.
Pay it off today. Is that all your debt, the $30K in student loans?
Yeah, no car debt, no credit card debt.
So today you could be debt-free with $20,000 in the bank?
Yeah, I guess the reason I've been cautious is because that's like 3 to 6 months, and I know it would go down.
Well, if you're
so
following our plan, you'd pay off all the debt before getting the fully funded emergency fund. And you'll still have $20,000. That's got to be a substantial emergency fund still.
Yeah, no, it would still leave us pretty comfortable.
And you can add more to it. You're debt-free today.
The kind of person that will pay off their debt today instead of waiting on the government to do it for them is the kind of person who will be vastly more successful in 10 years than the kind of person who sits and waits on the government to pay off their debt. You politicians, you see what you've done? Listen to that guy. He's sitting there with the money to pay off the debt that he owes the taxpayers, and he's not doing it because you idiots in Washington, you guys are morons. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Adam and Paula are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Better than we deserve, Dave.
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
We live in Sandy, Utah.
Ah, fun. Well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. How much debt did you pay off?
$154,842.77.
Love it. Ooh. How long did this take?
17 months, 4 days.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
$225,000 to $315,000.
Goodness gracious. What do you guys do for a living?
Well,
I'm an ER nurse. I work in the level 1 trauma center. I'm a registered nurse.
And I'm an air traffic controller.
Okay, wow.
Great jobs.
Wow. So how did you guys just take a bunch of OT? Is how you got your income up almost $100,000?
You betcha.
And laid all of it on the debt, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. I went from working 3 12-hour shifts a week to anywhere between like 5 or 6 days a week.
Oh.
And it was a lot.
Wow. I hope you're back to regular now.
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of debt was the 155?
Well, it was student loans, a car, solar panels, and a 401k loan from her.
Wow. Okay. Oh, my goodness. So something made this really, really important 17 months ago.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, 17 months ago, our journey actually started before that. We had started having, the two of us, some increasing problems in our health, and we actually went on a health journey, and we had success with that. And we have always done Dave Ramsey-ish things prior to that. And so when we realized, hey, we committed, we had success, let's do it with our finances. So we did. We then got Gonzalo Intense, and yeah, we succeeded.
Because they say, I remember reading this a long time ago, and I'm sure it's probably still true, that air traffic control is one of the highest stress jobs on the planet. Is that right?
Number 2 behind an ER nurse.
Yeah, you did pick out 2 trauma-filled situations. If either one of you make a mistake, lots of people die. Yeah, I mean, this is like, wow. But I mean, seriously, isn't there a high incidence of like heart attack and stress-related things with air traffic guys and gals?
We have to maintain a medical, so I mean, that was a concern too, right? But now I'm not concerned about that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
We do tend to be an unhealthier bunch, especially as we age, but...
Yeah. Well, it's just very, very important. Your work is so detailed. And ER nurse is exactly the same way. It's a good point. Yeah, both of you have this very, very intense situations. And so your health journey helped you with a lot of that.
Yes.
I'm sure. Stress management, by being healthier, your body being in better shape, you can manage that stuff better.
Yeah.
Your mind's clearer, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, then you say, oh, well, if we can apply a proven process to that, we're both process people, we could apply this Ramsey process, and maybe ish is not the plan. That's the essence of your story?
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, and nothing says let's de-stress by working extra to get rid of all this debt. But
Yeah.
it was a temporary sacrifice for you
It
guys.
was.
Most people would hang on to that debt for the next 20 years.
I mean, we had that debt for 17 years.
Wow.
It's embarrassing. But
Yeah, we had it for 17 years, and we
And you
got rid of
paid
it in
it off.
17 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Most people are just going, well, this is just part of life. And you guys went, no, we're going to attack this thing so hardcore that we never have to deal with debt again.
This seems like a very definitive line drawn at some point. Do you remember the actual conversation when it got real?
I do.
Okay.
So we ordered a car, George's kind of car, and
a battery.
You can't say it in front of Dave. He gets upset.
You bought a battery with wheels. A
yeah.
Tesla. Yeah.
And while I'm watching YouTube videos on that car, you know how YouTube kind of snakes around and gets you into all sorts of other. So it's financing started, and then you popped up again, and we've been familiar.
I popped up in Tesla financing algorithm.
Yeah.
It's working.
Somebody messed up.
Yeah. Yep. And so I started watching more and more, and then the car got delivered, and then I'm just watching it more and more, and that's where it started. And then I went to her and I said, we lost 130 pounds between two of us, and I was like, we didn't do that till we committed. We didn't just like, hey, today we're just going to give up. No. And I said, hey, no more credit cards, no more like at the end of the month, $1,200 bill. Nope, nothing. We're going to go right back into payoff, and I want this done. I want it out of my life. And there's one phrase that she used to say to me that ground my gears. You remember what that was?
I used to say that I'm going to work until I die. I used to say it all the time because I knew we had that much debt. And I think I see my parents, my mom, she is still working and she still has a lot of debt. And I didn't want that to happen to our kids. But I felt like that was happening to me. So I kept saying it. And I know it bugged him a lot.
A lot.
So, yeah. So we
because
decided,
it's kind of a hopeless
I felt
statement.
hopeless. I felt like I was just honestly going to just be working until the day I died because we had so much
you
debt.
said the car was delivered. You mean it came to the thing, but you didn't take delivery?
No, we took delivery of it, and we talked about it because at that point your formula, right? 2 years, not. They were like, well, we can sell it, but we just paid it off. We put it in the snowball, and that was.
Oh, so you still got the.
Yeah.
We paid it
well,
off.
we didn't commit until we'd already had the car. Like we had started.
okay.
It's because it was a 3-month process in between. I kind of condensed it for you, but that's what had happened. We did have that talk a couple times about selling it.
Okay, so you it's sitting in the driveway when you had this conversation.
Yeah.
I thought you meant delivery at the dealer. Okay,
No.
Wow, okay.
That is wild. What was harder, losing 130 pounds or paying off $155,000 in debt?
They were both weird. That's why we got here is because that was so weird. That was weird, and I was like, hey,
You're like, we're already weird. Let's just keep being weird.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing too. Was during our 17 years, we felt like such victims because we got run over by the student loan thing. Your documentary spelled that out really well. We thought we were weird owing that much, but in fact, that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, at one point we were paid off $3,000 in principal and $42,000 in interest. That was a low point. So, but we stopped being victims. That was the big thing over this thing. I'm done. I'm not going to have anybody else pay it off. I'm paying it off. We were going to pay it off, and that was it. No more victims. We're gonna tackle this.
So, Paula, Mr. Tesla walks in and says, "No more credit cards. We're done." And now that I got the car, we're done.
Is it hard to take him seriously at that point?
I mean, did you not go, say what?
I know. Well, I mean, in his defense, I really did want the Tesla too. I really did like it. I really do like it. But on the other hand, I am also comparing, like, if one of us is the spender, I was always the spender. I love to spend, but I knew we had to change, and so I was totally on board.
You know, the interesting thing is sometimes it's the other way. Sometimes we have folks come on here and they say, you know, while I was getting out of debt, I realized I could control myself and I lost 100 pounds. You know, I've heard that, I don't know, a bazillion times over 30 years. And you guys are the opposite. The fact that you won on the health front, lost 130 pounds between you, you said, okay, we can control ourselves. Self-control is a fruit of the Spirit. We can do this. And if we can do that here, we can do that there. So discipline, the old saying, discipline begets discipline. Because you start to trust yourself. You start to believe, I can do this. And it is a hope thing. You know, the losing the weight gave you hope, gave you belief that you could do it. You could apply those same principles to something else.
Exactly.
It gave you confidence. And that's very cool.
It's never too late, too, right? Like, I mean, 17 years, you know, we're getting into it. We're low 40s now. And we're like, nope. We're going to take care of this. And along the way, we involved the kids a lot more than I was involved growing up with money. So they are well aware.
All right. Bring them up. Give us their names and ages. While they're doing that, I'll tell you, we're going to give you the Baby Steps Millionaires book, the Total Money Makeover book, and Financial Peace University. If you have those or don't have them, use them or give them away. Your choice. Our Live and Give bundle to say thank you for coming all the way to Tennessee to do your debt-free scream. What a good-looking family. You guys are amazing. Congratulations.
This is thank you. And this is Sierra. She's 9, and this is Radek. He is 8.
All right. And 130 pounds less and $155,000 less.
That is a feather.
There's a lot of less up there. I like it.
And yet you're living more abundantly now.
Absolute
so
heroes. In all cases, they feel better, they look better, their clothes fit better, and they can afford them. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I feel like I go run through a wall now.
Oh, they're impressive.
Nothing's stopping these guys. I'm scared of them.
This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 21:20, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Shaquille O'Neal said, it isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Well, thanks, Shaq. Good stuff. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brandon's in Atlanta. Hey, Brandon, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Pardon me, I'm a little bit nervous.
No trouble. What's up?
Well, I have a mountain of debt. I should have called you years ago. I've known better. I just keep making poor decision after poor decision. Our total personal debt is about $687.
How much of that? How much of that is mortgage?
Mortgage is $240.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of the debt of the personal debt is business. That total is about $337. And the worst part, I think the worst part about our situation is that the business, every year we're about $30,000 short. So we just keep going into more debt year after year with the business. So the original loan, we'd be down to about $160, but we just keep adding it on. So now we're at $337. which is way more than what the business is worth. So I just don't know where to begin. The personal side of it, it's a big mess, of course, but the business is just sinking us.
What's your household income?
About 160 gross.
Okay, so your wife makes 160 or 190?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. So neither one of us work in the business. I make about 94 myself, and then my wife makes 66.
Oh.
And we don't take anything out of the business ourselves.
But the business loses $30,000 a year.
It does, yes, approximately.
On your taxes?
Somehow on the taxes, this year is showing as about $25,000 net income. But I'm not exactly familiar with all the accounting part of it, but it definitely doesn't feel like there's any net income. Every year it has been getting better, but it's still pretty bad.
What kind of business is this?
It's an ice cream shop. Yeah, we.
So when you say you're going in the whole $30,000, what is that for? Is it expenses, payroll? What's causing that?
Yeah, it's pretty much just keeping the business afloat. As far as to pinpoint it, really, I guess it's just not having enough in sales.
What could you sell the business for today? What's it worth?
I did look into that, and that's about $60,000 is the business valuation that we got, and that was based on that $25,000 net income that we got for this year.
Yeah, that's about right.
So I'm just thinking.
What do you do for a living?
I have I work for the government, Department of Defense.
Okay.
So my job is fairly stable. My wife.
What do you actually do? Are you an engineer or are you a?
Oh well, no. Basically, we all have the same position. They call us analyst.
Okay. Okay, I got you. That's enough. That's good. Okay, so you're working 40 hours there.
I am, yes.
And your wife does what for a living?
She's a teacher. Also works 40 hours. Although currently she's at home with a baby. We have a newborn, which is super.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the surprise. But anyway, she'll go back in about a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
An aspect of the business, we have a mobile part of it. So I'm in that quite a bit outside of my regular job. And that part of the business is quite profitable. It's a shame I can't have that without the brick and mortar location. But so I'm not in the store, but I'm in the mobile trailer going to events and such.
What does it take to wind down the brick and mortar location?
Well,
I mean, if you could make $40,000 out of the mobile and shut that down, you could whittle away at this.
I could, yes. Yeah. I'm not sure what that looked like. I guess the paying the fixed loan off, the original $160,000. I guess that would be the biggest part.
What is that? Is that a loan? That loan's against the location?
It is. Yeah, that's the original one, and then we just have other loans on top of that.
And who is that loan with?
It was through a business lender, like a third-party business lender.
Yeah. Okay.
So that payment is, I don't know, a little over $3,000 a month.
Yeah, but if you were paying the payment anyway and just closed the location, does that put you in default on the loan?
No, I think we could do that, but I don't know if.
Well, I'm just saying, jack up your mobile and run it all the time, and get all your costs gone. And let's see if we can't make this thing make 60 and throw it all at it. And by the way, let's take a whole bunch of your 160 and start throwing it at it. Let's live on nothing. Like live on 60. Okay. Let's go make another 100. Let's go make another 60 out of the mobile and shut down the brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. Okay. And now we got to clear $637,000. Well, no, we don't. We got to clear 687. We got minus 240. We got to clear 447 because your mortgage is not the problem. Okay. 240 mortgage is not your issue. All right. So if you add 60 to your top, you following me here? By jacking up your hours and you go crazy for 2 years, that puts you at 220, 230, somewhere in there, right?
Okay. Yes.
okay, and you live on nothing, 50 grand, you can clean this up really, really fast. Like 2 or 3 years of unbelievable hours. And you can, it's easy to put in those hours if there's hope and traction. If you're making progress and you believe it's going to work, I can work my tail off. It's when I feel like a rat in a wheel that I get so exhausted. And you've been a rat in a wheel going backward for a while.
Yeah. I've known better, but I just keep.
Well, and you're an analyst. You've been analyzing this, watching it.
As far as all the, so of course we have car loans and credit cards in that mess too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I was curious what your take on, and it's probably another bad decision, but that's why I wanted to ask you. We have a good bit of equity in the house. Should we consider selling the house and using that equity to pay off?
Only if you solve this business problem.
Okay, that would have to come first.
Yeah, you've got to close this thing. And here's what I would do. I would close it, and I would work like a crazy person, and I would sell everything inside except the house. And I would, and your wife does what for a living again?
She's a teacher.
Okay. Maybe she starts taking on some tutoring on the side, whatever. Anything we can do to get our household income way, way up for the next 24 to 36 months. So here's the thing. If you put $100,000 on this, you're done in 4 years. If you put $150,000 on it, you're done in 3 years. And if you're making $260,000, you can put $150,000 on it and you're done in 3 years. 100% debt free. And you still got the ice cream truck, not the location. Okay. And then sell it. The second part of this equation is the hopelessness, the feeling of stuck that you have has kept you from using your God-given skills to dive into the numbers on this business. And so I'm going to be your boss for a minute, your leader, and say your job is to learn your numbers in this business and know exactly what the flip's going on. You let Jesus take the wheel, and Jesus told you to go plant corn. And if you plant sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. You have to be diligent to know the state of your flocks and herds. You've got to get down in this business and know these numbers. The fact that you don't know these numbers when I'm asking you is symptomatic of the fact you're not paying enough attention to this thing. So you got to lean into it. You got to wind it down. Then you got to crank your work hours way up and your income way up. And if that doesn't knock it out in the next, if you don't see the light at the next 24 months, then sell the house. But you can't sell the house until you get rid of this business problem because you're not going to get rid of all the debt. That's the thing. There's no escape hatch here except you. You got to go do it. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.